All right. All right. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Bo Knows podcast. So this is episode 7. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, subscribe, follow. Helps out a lot. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, subscribe, rate it 5 stars helps out a lot, so appreciate you guys. It's good to be back. It was good to put out a first episode last week, get back into the flow of things. So like I said before, trying to commit to putting out one of these a week, but I'm going to try and do better on timing this week, and you know not ramble on as much as I did last week. But anyway, on the show this week, I talk about what's going on in my life this week. A lot going on. Kind of a short week because I am going out of town this week, out of the country actually. I do recap the Notre Dame Ohio State game, the championship that happened last night. I'm recording this on Tuesday, so it'll probably go out Tuesday night. So it'll probably be listening or watching maybe later tonight or on Wednesday. Talk about the Bears getting Ben Johnson and what that means for the Bears and the NFC North possibly. What I was wrong about last week, holding myself accountable for being wrong about my picks last week, even though I did have a good week betting. Made some money last week, so that's good. And then my NFC, AFC Championship picks for this weekend as well. So again, 30 minutes. Intro, a minute 49, so we're doing good on timing there. So jumping into what's going on this week. So starting with Monday, watched a little bit of the inauguration. So we have President Trump back for better or for worse, whatever your political affiliation is. I don't really care, I guess. But I watched a little bit of that. It's always interesting. I guess like it's always like a Super Bowl of memes on Twitter whenever the election happens or like the inauguration happens, and it definitely didn't disappoint. So there's definitely a good collection of memes that I added to my album on my phone of memes, so I can't wait to use those in 2025. But it's definitely going to be interesting having Trump back in office, and it's going to be interesting. Anyway, and then it was interesting over the weekend. We lost TikTok for about 12 hours, and watching the TikTokers, the frequent TikTokers, freaking out about that, and that their livelihoods were going away. But then we got TikTok back, so nature was healing. But for me personally, TikTok going away, not the end of the world for me. I mean, I use it to like aimlessly scroll just like everybody else. I don't post a lot on TikTok like I want to, especially for like this podcast and like the Cookout podcast with Adam and Eris. And then, I post like dodgeball stuff on there as well. But mainly it affected me because I use CapCut a lot to edit my videos, and CapCut is owned by TikTok. So I don't have that right now. And so that affects me more than anything. But so I'm trying to find a different program to use. So that kind of affects me. So President Trump, I know you're not listening to this, but if you want to get CapCut back, that would be pretty dope in my opinion. But other than that, I have a lot of other stuff going on in my life personally. I won't get into that, but I recently hit up it pre-COVID. I used to see not only one therapist, but 2 therapists. Name was Tom and Christy. I used to see 2 different ones because I wanted a male and a female's perspective. So I would hit either one of them up depending on the situation. And I hadn't seen them in a long time because I thought my life was going well, and I didn't really think I needed them to see them. But lately, some things have been going on which I don't need to get into, but felt the need to hit up Tom again. And Tom's kind of like he's definitely a guy that was like in like the he was definitely like a hippie and definitely smoked a lot of weed. Definitely was in like Woodstock back in the day. Definitely went to a lot of concerts, and I can like hear his voice and like his text when I hit him up. I'm like, "Hey man, it's been a while. Want to see your availability." He's like, "Hey, bro, it's been a long time, man." So I plan on talking to him tomorrow. Before I head out of the country, so I'm excited to talk to him and get his perspective on some things that are going on in my life. So it'll be good to hear from him. And I want to know genuinely what's going on with him because he's got some kids that are around my age as well. And they have some interesting stories. So he was always really cool to bounce ideas off of as well. And my other therapist, Christy, she's definitely like a girl's girl. So I used to like to talk to her about certain things because she would definitely tell me like if I'm fucking up and hold me accountable if I'm like, messing up. So um I definitely, uh she's definitely had to check me before too. So um she's definitely a good resource to have. So excited to talk to him. So have him talking to him tomorrow, and then Thursday I'm flying to Toronto, Canada, because I have my first international dodgeball tournament of the year in Toronto. So I will be in Toronto Thursday through Monday afternoon. I play I play Saturday and Sunday. I play men's on Saturday, and then I have men's playoffs in the morning of Saturday, and then or sorry, men's playoffs on the morning of Sunday, and then co-ed on the rest of Sunday. So that'll be fun. Playing with a bunch of my friends. It'll be really good competition. The Canadians are so good. They're so fun. Really good people up there. And I'm really excited to hang out with a bunch of friends and kind of get away from Boston a little bit. And um, yeah, I'm really excited to, you know, um, play some dodgeball. And, I've been practicing a lot and working on some things. So really excited to like put that into like apply it and see if what I was practicing is like working. So really excited to see that. And yeah, it'll be fun. So yeah, that'll be fun. Fun weekend. It's gonna be cold as hell. I looked at the weather, and it's even colder than it is here right now, and I do not do well in the cold, so I'm not really excited about that portion of it. I am not a good person when it's cold outside, so not cold about that aspect. However, I will do my best not to bitch about it, but for my friends that I'm going to see this weekend, I do apologize sincerely for my bitching because I am going to complain a lot. But yeah, other than that, excited to see everybody in Toronto. Shout out the Canadians. Shout out the Americans that are going up there as well. Excited to see you guys. Yeah, that's my week. That's my weekend. But yeah, watched the Notre Dame Ohio State game yesterday with my buddies Jo and Parker. Shout out those guys. We went to this local bar called the Warehouse yesterday in the financial district in Boston. Had really good food there. We had some steak and cheese egg rolls and crushed some Korean style chicken wings and buffalo wings. Pretty solid. And then me, whiskey guy, so I'm gonna have some old fashions. But in terms of the game, um, Notre Dame kind of surprised me in terms of their first drive. Went right down the field on Ohio State and scored the first points of the game. I'm glad I didn't bet first team to score because I definitely was going to bet Ohio State, and that would have ruined the parlay immediately. However, Notre Dame, obviously your first drive is going to be a bunch of scripted plays. They should go well. So am I overly shocked that they went well? No, but you still have to execute those plays. So, shout out to Marcus Freeman for having his offense ready, Riley Leonard for executing those plays, and the offense executing those plays, and for Notre Dame not being afraid of the moment and coming out and punching Ohio State in the mouth. But Ohio State kind of responding, almost immediately, and um, scoring right after that. So I thought both teams did a good job, like, feeling each other out in the early parts of the game, and then Ohio State kind of took charge in the second quarter and kind of imposed their will in terms of turning it up on defense, and then kind of had Notre Dame stumbling a little bit in terms of confusing Riley Leonard a little bit. And then not letting Jeremiah Love run. They didn't let uh, Notre Dame get their running game going literally at all, which, Ohio State doesn't let anybody run. So we kind of knew that going into the game anyway. And in terms of Ohio State's offensive game, like, Chip Kelly had really Ohio State doing mostly whatever they wanted. I mean, Will Howard had only 4 incompletions the entire game. In terms of running, they had over 200 yards running. So, um, in terms of offensive efficiency, Ohio State was really efficient the entire game. I didn't really think the game was really ever in doubt. Um, I think Ohio State was kind of playing it safe in the second half, especially the fourth quarter. Notre Dame definitely fought back in the second half, especially the fourth quarter, having those 2 touchdowns and then getting those 2-point conversions. Jaden Greathouse had a great second half, and he's a solid little receiver too. So, and I thought Riley Leonard played a great game. I think Riley Leonard is making himself some money. I think Jaden Greathouse is going to be a top receiver here. He's only a sophomore too. So, but I think overall, I think Riley Leonard and I think Will Howard, for them, me thinking them coming into the game, both of them being mid quarterbacks, I still think they are pretty mid, but I think both of them made some money in terms of, like, boosting their draft stock in this game. So, good on them. But am I surprised at the outcome? No. I did make some money from this game in terms of, like, my parlay. I had Ohio State -5.5 in the first half. I had them covering the 8.5. I had them with the over, and then the overall over the game, I think it was like 45.5 points, and then Notre Dame team total of 13.5 points. I was hoping Notre Dame scored at least 17. I think my prediction last week, I said it was going to be 30-17. So 34-23, around the ballpark. So not overly shocked by the outcome, but yeah, Notre Dame, great fight. I'm glad it was an entertaining game. I just didn't want to be a blowout. So I thought it was an entertaining game. So Big Ten runs college football right now. I think it's going to be that way for a while. So if you're a hater of the Big Ten, I think you're going to have issues with the Big Ten for a while, because I think Ohio State is going to be tough to beat for a while. And that's a tough pill to swallow, because I don't like Ohio State, but that's just kind of what it is right now. So, but anyway, moving on to the Bears. Bears get Ben Johnson. I'm elated because I wasn't sure with the situation of, Ryan Poles and the relationship between him and Ben Johnson. There was rumblings that Ben Johnson maybe wanted to pick his own GM, and that there was maybe some friction between the two, that we may not get Ben Johnson. I guess that was resolved somehow. So looks like we got our guy. He was introduced today. So there's videos of him walking into Hallis Hall. Looks like he's pretty excited to be here. So I'm really excited. Seems like Caleb's excited. He was sending subtle messages saying that he wants an offensive guy that he can build around for the next, 5, 7, 8 years. So it looks like he's got his guy. And in terms of what Ben Johnson does with, quarterbacks and his offense, between 2022 and 2024, the Lions have had the number 1 offense in terms of points and yardage. So I'm really excited to see what he does with the Bears. And if he can, translate that over to the Bears. He knows the NFC North, so he knows the Lions, he knows the Vikings, he knows the Packers. He knows like the defenses that they're going to run against his offenses, and he knows how to game plan and draw up offenses against that. And it's just a matter of, can he nail the coordinators, and can he work with Ryan Poles to get the personnel to fit his needs and to fit his offense. So that remains to be seen, but he has to address the offensive line, and we have to nail the coordinators. So we'll see what happens, but he's got a lot of work to do. The Bears ranked 26th in passing, 25th in rushing, and 28th in receiving. So got a lot of work to do on the offensive end, but I like that the Bears took a swing on Ben Johnson and not played it safe with like Mike McCarthy. So I'm really happy about that. And that we're just taking a chance and not playing it safe. So we'll see where that goes. We'll see where it goes. But overall, I'm really excited about it, and hopefully that means that the Bears are going to be on Hard Knocks. Gotta be. I think they run it back. I think they put the Bears on Hard Knocks again, at least for the preseason. They got to be again. Maybe they won't do it for the preseason, but I think the Bears will be on Hard Knocks at some point again. Anyway, moving on to where I was wrong. Holding myself accountable. I like to do this every week when I make my picks, but honestly, I had a really good week in terms of my picks last week. So I had 8 picks between the 4 games, the line, and then the over under. I went 6-2. So if you followed my picks last week, you probably made some money. Where I was wrong was Kansas City -8. I missed. Did I miss on that? Hold on a second. Yeah, I missed by a point. Sorry. Yeah, I did miss on that, -8. And then where else did I miss? Oh wait, no, I didn't miss on that. I missed on the over under by a point. And then I missed on Detroit. Because who would have expected Washington to win that game? So I think everybody would have missed on that, and then I missed the over under on the Texans Kansas City game by a point. So that's my bad, I guess. But other than that, I had a pretty good week in my opinion. But anyway, moving on to the NFC and AFC picks this week. So NFC Championship game, we have Washington versus Philly. I think that game is going to be really close. The line for that game, as I'm recording on Tuesday, it has Philly -6, and the over-under is 47.5. I think at this point, Jaden Daniels has proven that I'm not going to bet against him in terms of like I'm going to take the Commanders in the points because he hasn't shown otherwise that he's going to get blown out. And with the Eagles, again, it's like I don't know what Eagles team I'm going to get consistently. And I think that the Commanders have played well enough all season to where I feel like they're going to play each game close. And because they are an individual team, that this championship game is going to be close. It's going to come down to a field goal or a last possession type game. So I am going to take the Commanders plus the points. I'm not confident enough to take Commanders money line here. I don't have the balls to do that. However, I will take I think I'm going to take the over because I hate rooting for the under because I hate watching football that way. So I will take the over in terms of 47.5. And then for the not Baltimore, excuse me, for the Buffalo Kansas City game. At the time of recording it, they have Kansas City -2, and the over under is also 47.5. At some point, Kansas City has kind of been playing with fire most of the season. And at some point, I feel like Josh Allen is going to get over the hump here. And, he slayed Lamar Jackson. And I think this is his time to get to the Super Bowl. And I really just envision a Bills Super Bowl. So I'm kind of envisioning, I think the Eagles are going to beat the Commanders. But I just envision a Bills-Eagles Super Bowl and just the two fan bases just colliding and just the absolute chaos of two fan bases in that Super Bowl. So I think that I'm taking the Bills +2, and I'm also taking the over that game. So I'm taking Washington +6 in the over, and I'm taking Bills +2 in the over in those two games. So those are my 4 picks of the weekend. But yeah, actually just ran through. I'm at 21 minutes right now, so short show for this kind of short week because I leave on Thursday. However, yeah, so it'll be on anywhere that you get your podcast, but drop a follow, subscribe wherever you watch or listen. Appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon. All right.